You're listening to Bosses and Booze, happy hour for the creative biz owner, with your host, Meghan Maydel. Ever wonder what it's like to sit down for a cocktail with your favorite entrepreneurs and ask them the real-life questions no one else is asking? Well, now you've got Meghan to do it for you. Join her each week when she says screw the fluff and gives you an honest peek behind the curtain of online personas. Bottoms up!
All right, hey guys, another episode of Bosses and Booze with yours truly, Meghan Maydel. My guest today is the awesome Katie Hunt, who is sipping on some flavored green tea concoction that just for us, she added a lovely little splash of vodka too, just to make it fun.
You know.
Live it up.
Gotta go with the audience.
Her guilty pleasure is late nights watching reality TV after the kids are in bed and ice cream. I like where her head's at. And her favorite movies are the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah, don't ask. I know, it's the most, nobody would ever guess that about me, but they're a guilty pleasure too. Like my reality TV, I don't know.
Which one out of the Fast and Furious movies is your favorite?
I don't even know. I like the last one, but hey. I snuck out to the movie theater to see it with my husband during the middle of a workday one time.
There it is.
Young. I think that's what it is. They came out and I was feeling young, so.
All right, I'm in. I can get down.
Hey, I'm keeping it real. What can I say?
I've still only seen, I think, like the first 3, and then when they kept coming out with them after that, I was like, really? We're not killing this already?
Well, there was bad ones in the middle, that's for sure. I'm not like a fan of the whole series. I don't know.
Is it Vin Diesel? Is it you have a thing for Vin Diesel?
No, Paul Walker. If I was going to choose, it would have been Paul Walker, but
You're a Paul Walker person.
Yep.
All right, guys, today's drinking game word is product. So anytime someone says the word product, feel free to take a sip. Legal disclaimer, no drinking and driving, no drinking and operating machinery. Really don't drink and do anything client related. This is meant to be like end of the day decompression cocktail hour. So just don't plan on doing anything big, wild, and crazy after this if you're planning on drinking along with us.
Right.
So Katie, tell us what for those of you who don't know who you are, I can't imagine there is anyone who doesn't know who you are, but
people.
Tell us what your story is, kind of where you got started, how you ended up doing what it is that you're doing now, and like what's the roller coaster that kind of led you
Got me
there.
to where I am, all the dips, dives, curves, and bends. Yeah. So, my name is Katie Hunt, and I'm the founder of Tradeshow Bootcamp. And the path in which I got here is kind of interesting. I was working in the corporate world for about 14 years, doing legal marketing and business development for attorneys, helping them build a brand and helping them find new business, basically, reach out to new clients. And my husband and I got married in 2008, and in that time I thought, hey, like I'd love to make my own stationery, like my own wedding invitations and some note cards, personalized note cards for my bridesmaids. And it was a nice creative outlet from the business stuff I was doing day in and day out. And so I started that, and I really enjoyed it, just doing it for myself. But the personalized note cards in particular took off. I had so many friends that were kind of in that same season of life, getting married, and they wanted me to do their wedding invitations and do note cards for their friends and family too. And so what started as just kind of a creative outlet for my own personal needs turned into kind of a hobby / business at the time. But I've always been an entrepreneur. Selling like lemonade and friendship bracelets as a kid. And, I went to graduate school too, to get my MBA in both marketing and finance, kind of always with the thought in the back of my head of, I want to be my own boss someday, and these are tools that I can use not only now in my day job, but I'll be able to leverage later on when I do eventually go out on this path on my own. So shortening the story a bit, I started my stationery business in 2008. I decided pretty darn quickly that I wanted to make it an actual business, not just a hobby. I exhibited at the National Stationery Show in 2009, so just about, 6 or 7 months later. And I learned a lot of things the hard way. Just jumping in head first. I didn't know what wholesale was about. I didn't really know what my pricing would be. I didn't have my product together. The way it should be. I'm product. Oops. Anyhow, but I wasn't as prepared, mostly because I didn't know what it meant to wholesale. And then you have the whole second tier of this, of like how to do a trade show, how to build a booth and budget for this and get everything from California, where I am, to New York. It was overwhelming, to say the least. But I did it. I made it through. I succeeded. I got some new accounts. I sold my products to different stores, and but I also had to learn a lot of hard lessons along the way. And then I did a blog post later that year for a friend of mine. She had a small blog, and she said, what were 5 things you wish you had known before you went and exhibited at the National Stationery Show? And I was brutally honest, and I shared 5 things on this blog, and it was a catalyst for so many emails and calls. People would call me and say, hey, I want to do this too. What you said really resonated with me. And they'd ask a lot of the same types of questions. How much product do I need? How much did it cost? It's just a lot of the same types of things over and over. And I would thoughtfully reply to everybody because I understood. I was in their shoes though. And I also craved the connection, because I was doing this as a side hustle at the time. I still had my day job and I had a couple of kids, and, I was again wanting to transition to have it be my full time. So anyhow, I after spending hours, really, and days, months, years, thoughtfully writing everybody back, I said, let's get everybody together and let's do, a course of some kind. And the first set of Tradeshow Bootcamp courses were 4 phone calls. And we had about 25 people, and it was awesome. We interviewed a bunch of great people in the industry that came from different roles. We had a retailer and a sales rep and manufacturers like myself, and it was just really cool. And from there, it expanded into more of webinars, live broadcasts where people could ask questions. And then we did the in-person conference. And so now it's kind of, we've created a system where it's twice a year in person and then twice a year online. So, but we have a really amazing community now. So anyhow, I started bootcamp then in 2011. It took a little while from that blog post to the actual inception of bootcamp. But bootcamp started in 2011, and we're coming up on our 6-year anniversary, and we're hosting our 10th Papercamp conference in February. And it's been pretty incredible. Bootcamp is a really nice hybrid of what I was doing in the corporate world with an industry and a community of people that I just adore and I love, and I am really empowered to help them. I feel really fired up when I get to work with them.
Yeah, so I'm actually pretty surprised that you didn't go into them asking you for the 5 things that were that blog post and weren't like, really? Only 5? You only want me to list you 5 things?
I know. I mean, the first time you do anything, obviously that's where you have the highest learning curve, because there's just so much that you don't know. Like I tell everybody, there's so much that you don't realize you don't know until you start doing it yourself. And so I agree. It could have been much more than 5, but now I built a whole course on it, and we have a 150-page workbook that we offer at Papercamp too. So we've definitely taken that 5 tips in the blog and expanded upon it.
Now it's the 1 billion things you should be doing.
I scare people a little bit when they see how much they need to know. No, I'm just teasing. We break it down pretty painlessly.
Well, I'm also curious that you said that you ended up going to college doing marketing and a finance major, and you're the first person I've ever talked to that was that aware that at some point you were going to be your own business owner, to kind of like set things up going in that direction with your college education. So I'm curious, like, were your parents entrepreneurs? Were they always talking about that kind of stuff, or was it just like this amazing self-awareness that you had that you needed to do
not
this?
Amazing self-awareness. But let me back up a little bit. It was grad school that I did marketing and finance for my MBA. I was out of school for at least 5 years before I went back and did my graduate degree. So I did have some like figuring things out time there that I was trying to sort it out. But yeah, I mean, My mom's an attorney and she is one of the senior partners of her firm. So she's essentially an entrepreneur too, even though it's a larger business and she owns it with many other people. But I did have that from her. And then my father's an entrepreneur as well. He owns a commercial paint contracting company. So there's definitely times where we talk shop at home, but it's, I don't know. I've just always enjoyed the flexibility and the ability to go and do the different things that I'm passionate about. I love that I can try certain things, and if they don't work out, it's okay. You know, I can just change it up, try again, or move on to the next thing. So you can't really do that in the corporate world so much. But I will say I get a lot of people saying to me like, oh, I want to leave my day job. I want to leave it right now and do this full time. And I always tell them my day job, I was there a long time and it afforded me a lot of opportunity in my business to do things that I would not have been able to afford if I was just, you know, an entrepreneur. I wouldn't have been able to invest in a new website or go to these trade shows or do all these things. So, for those itching to get out, don't rush it, but have an end goal in sight too. So
it's I tell everyone the exact same thing, that it's, you know, don't be over eager with it, don't rush it with it. You know, it's going to be something that comes along as you grow, and it's an amazing opportunity to have a second source of income, to be able to pay for all of these other things that you want to be able to pay for and invest in your business and achieve in your business. You know, if you like, Facebook ads are becoming more and more of a popular way to be able to generate leads and do kinds of things there. Well, they're not cheap anymore. They're not, you know, 1,000 leads for a penny anymore. You got to have the capital to be able to put behind that. And unless you want to go into debt or take a loan from someone, it's so much easier to have that other job with that other income coming in. Is it going to be some long hours? Is it going to be some hard work for a little while? Yeah, but it's going to pay off. It's going to be worth it, I promise.
And I'm a huge advocate of running a debt-free business too. I mean, I think, like you mentioned, there are ways to get capital to create a product line. You don't need to if you're smart about how you spend your money.
Exactly. Oh, there it is again. So let's play.
Is it going out?
No, it's you said product.
Oh. I did.
We've been having problems with this recording, so is it cutting out? Is it not? Maybe.
Maybe we just need to have another drink.
Clearly our drinks are not strong enough.
I know.
So let's play two truths and a lie. The two truths and a lie that you submitted for me to guess through are: I was on the water ski team in college. My husband and I dated for 11 years before we got married, and I've always wanted to perform in a musical. Okay. I'm guessing that the lie is that you were on a water ski team in college.
Nope, I was on the water ski team in college.
That's a thing?
I went to school in Santa Barbara for undergrad, and it was awesome. I look back and I'm like, what were these people doing, giving a bunch of, you know, 20-some young 20s, 18, 19, 20-year-olds a boat to use every weekend? But we did. We went and we had tournaments every weekend with, you know, colleges on the West Coast, and it was fun. It was good times.
I did not even know there was a thing that you could be on.
I know. It was funny too, because I played softball all the way through, and I was going to go to Santa Clara and play softball for them. And I decided I'm kind of burned out, and I want to go to a bigger school and whatever. And then I ended up doing the water ski team there. I grew up skiing, so I had some experience there too. But yeah, I know. Random fact
is the lie: I've always wanted to perform in a musical. Okay.
Yeah. I like singing at home in the kitchen with the kids, but that's not it.
That's as far as this is going?
Exactly. Maybe a few more cocktails, you get me to sing karaoke or something, but not really.
That was, I've only sang karaoke incredibly drunk. My very first time was to Like a Virgin by Madonna, and I fell off the stage in the middle of it. It was rough.
Oh my goodness.
And I think that there is video out there somewhere. I have never, like, my friend I know uploaded it to YouTube, but this was like 10 years ago, and I'm really hoping that like maybe at some point it was destroyed or he deleted it, because I haven't been able to find it since then, and I'm so thankful that no one else has brought it up and been like, is this you?
That's cruel that she would upload it to YouTube. I'm also very glad that social media wasn't around when I was in like high school and college. So, you know.
So you and your husband dated for 11 years before you got married?
We did.
How'd you guys meet?
We met in high school. We weren't dating in high school, but we started dating when we were in college, but we grew up in the same town, and I went away and he started junior college here, and then his mom got sick, and so we had to stop going to school for a while. And by the time he was able to come back, I was coming home and he was going away for school. So it just was more of a situation of not in the same city at the same time. And that's why it took a while for us to finally tie the knot.
But it finally panned out.
It did. Here we are, one big happy family later.
All right, let's play 7 Minutes in Heaven, where you teach us something in 7 minutes. There is a timer.
Oh, it's okay.
I know, right? This is legit.
It's super legit. So I want to show you guys, and I hope you can see, but I want to show you on Instagram, if you have a business account, there's some amazing insights here that if you're not aware of, I highly encourage that you take a look at it. So first of all, you need to convert your account to a business account, and you can do that through the settings, the little like star thing at the top. But the insights are right here, these bars. And let me see. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it shows you all sorts of insights, your favorite, the most popular post. It shows you the time of day and which days of the week people are looking at your stuff the most. But what I love here is if you click see more under followers, it shows you your demographics. So 90% women are my peeps, 10% men, shows you the age demographics. It shows you a whole bunch of stuff, the cities that people are located in, and the days and times that they're most interested. So if you are thinking about, it's a lot of great info and it's free. So if you're thinking about, trying to figure out what time of day is the best to post or which days of the week are best to post, when your audience is most engaged, look at that. It's free to convert to a business account, and then you get all these great insights, and you can it does update too as you continue to post. So it also tells you some other cool stuff like how many impressions and what your reach was last week. So if you're looking at social media ROI and measurement and stuff like that, it's a good way to put some numbers to that stuff.
Okay, my question is, because I get the question all the time from people whenever they Instagram first launched their business accounts. Yeah. That they're going to start, because they are owned by Facebook, they're going to start going the way of Facebook, where because you switch to a business account, they can then limit your reach, and it's going to start becoming a paid to play scenario. Yeah. Have you noticed since switching to a business account that maybe your reach is down from what it was before you were a business account? Do you think that they're going to go that direction? What are your thoughts there?
I think it's a really good observation. I have no idea what they plan to do, but I do think I noticed a dip in engagement at the beginning of the year, and that was before I switched to the business account. But since I've switched, I have not noticed a dip. I've noticed that things have been pretty consistent. My followers have grown. My engagement has increased. Comments and things, aside from just the likes, have really grown. But I'm also a firm believer that requires that's up to you to make sure that you are engaging with people, that you're asking questions, that you're responding to people that comment and things like that. So I haven't seen a dip since I switched. I find the analytics worth it right now. We'll see if they switch the game up and make us start paying to play. But for right now, I think it's been really helpful.
Oh, alrighty then. Let's see where you're at. 4 minutes left.
4 minutes left? Oh,
check
wow.
You out.
I'm quick. I like to get in and get out.
You are efficient.
Yes, I am. That is actually one of my strengths.
It was, based on your savvy experience talk.
Oh, that's right. Well, thank you.
I didn't realize you were going to be able to tie it together that way.
I know, right? I know. That's so funny. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm still learning a lot about Instagram, but it's my number 2 source of business. My alumni, the people that have come through my courses, are my first through their referrals, and then Instagram. That's where people find me. So knowing, in fact, I'm doing a lot of branding exercises right now for boot camp because we're going to do a new rebrand and website next year. And so having these demographics and being able to pinpoint and say, oh yeah, the 25 to 34-year-olds are like our primary demographic. That's huge. It's, if you know who is watching and engaging, you can speak to them much better.
It's
than,
so much easier. Your life is so much easier.
I'm not shooting in the dark trying to say something that's broad and general and applicable to everybody, because really nobody's target market is everybody.
No, and stop thinking that it is, or that you just want to take money from whoever it is, because that's going to lead down a long, painful road.
You're exactly. I 100% agree. And I tell people, I'm like, Papercamp's not for everybody. It's not. You need to be in a certain point in your business, and you need to be willing to invest in your business. And if you're at the very beginning, you might not have the funds for it, or you might not have enough experience to do it. If you're a little more seasoned, you might already know a lot of what we're talking about. So, honing in on who your audience is, this is just another way to kind of reiterate to yourself who is engaged and looking at what you're doing and following.
There you go. Yeah. Let's move on to Facebook trending. Finding 3 random topics in Facebook trending. These are like the highlight of I wake up and look at these because they are so entertaining some days. I'm like, what bullshit are they pushing on me today? Let's check it out. So I feel like people fall into camps. I definitely know which camp I fall into. I'm curious which camp you fall into. When it comes to Christmas, that there are like the elf freaking out because Santa's coming people. And then there are okay, Christmas is coming. It's going to be an insane holiday season. Whatever, I just have to get through it. There are those kinds of people. Which camp do you fall into?
I am like right in the middle of both camps. I think that there's like things that I'm really excited about, like my family coming to town, and we're having like an outrageous Christmas Eve dinner. There's going to be 43 people at my parents' house, which is both exciting to me and also terrifying to me, because not terrifying, but it feels overwhelming.
A little.
Yeah, but my parents are so excited. Well, you also have to understand, I come from a big family. I'm one of 4, and I've got 16 cousins, and so like we have a huge family. But I love Christmas. I love it. But I also have been feeling the crunch of like, oh gosh, there's so much to get done. And so I think I'm kind of in between both camps of like the shopping's done, but nothing's wrapped, and the tree is up, but we've got like half the ornaments on it. And, we need to finish these things. So I'll feel better after we're finished.
You've got 5 days.
Yeah, I know. We'll get it done. It'll be all right.
How do you feel about Christmas music?
I like it, but only for the month of December. I think the people that start it like right after Thanksgiving, I think that's a little insane. I need to start it wait until like after December 1st, maybe even the 5th or 6th or something.
Oh God, my family is like, oh, it's November 1st. Let's start blasting Mariah Carey. And, and they bring that up because apparently tonight is the Empire State Building's Mariah Carey light show.
Oh, wow. I had no idea. Good to know.
You were interested in going to see Mariah Carey sing apparently the only song that anyone still listens to of hers.
So funny.
It comes out every single year, and I am not a Christmas music fan at all, but I do love that song, and I love it even more that I know that Jimmy cannot stand Mariah Carey. He's like, she just screeches in every single song, so I love to like turn it up really loud.
That's funny. I did enjoy the what's his name? The comedian that does the car karaoke.
Oh, James Gordon.
Yes, thank you. I did enjoy the bit they did with that song and all the different people singing it. Mostly because
with all the mashups, with like they had Red Hot Chili Peppers in there singing along.
Exactly. The back, like tapping along. I'm like, that's pretty cool, because they planned that out like the whole year as they were doing like karaoke. Like, I'm like, that's pretty cool.
When they included Adele, I was like, damn, you guys really had to think this shit out.
Right. Well, that was it. I'm like, I remember him doing the Adele one like months ago. So I'm like, they planned ahead. So
look at, I don't know. I'm not that ahead of my business. Wow. That's what I thought when I saw it. I was like, I don't plan that far ahead.
I'm a planner, but not that far ahead.
I would have been going back to everyone like 6 months later being like, hey, so.
Same clothes on and we'll get back in the same car and can we do this so that we could wrap it into this Mariah Carey thing we're doing? Yeah, I know.
Like this. So another story that I came across that I felt like was really interesting, because I feel like Amy Schumer is someone who gets a lot of flack sometimes for things that like she shouldn't get a lot of flack for speaking out about her weight and her size and her appearance and her comments on other things. Like, she's just trying to show us that she's breaking the mold and that she's doing something a little bit differently, and that you can be comedians and it's okay to be crass and it's okay to express your sexuality, and there are people who are made uncomfortable by that. And personally, I think that that's their problem. But she has done something really sweet today, that she bought back her father's farm.
Oh, wow.
Apparently, he was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis when she was 9. Her family had to file for bankruptcy and lost the farm in the process.
Oh, I got goosebumps.
She was able to buy it back. She said, we lost the farm when we lost everything else, but today I got to buy it back for him.
Oh, I like that.
I'm Team Amy anyway, but if I wasn't, that totally would make me more Team Amy.
Yeah, I like her a lot too, but I that's really amazing. I love that.
Did you see that? What was that movie she recently wrote? Trainwreck. Did you see Trainwreck?
No, I don't think I saw that. I have a terrible memory with movies, aside from Fast and Furious, which actually I probably couldn't even tell you which is which at this point. But yeah, I haven't seen Trainwreck. Was it good?
You need to see it. I mean, the storyline's kind of like basic, like, they fall in love, whatever, you know, they break up, and they all of a sudden they end up back together. Right. You know, your standard like chick flick timeline. So you know what's gonna come before you even get there. But they're both really funny, and I didn't know until recently that she wrote it, that it was a script that she brought and was able to get produced and made into a film. But it's really funny, and like LeBron James is in it. He's really funny. So there was lots of parts that you're just laughing your ass off at, which I enjoyed, because I'm someone who, like, if I could figure out the game, then I don't want to play anymore. So most of those kind of movies, I'm like, Jimmy, why are we watching this? I know how this is going to end.
Right, I'm out. My laptop on, I'm working or doing something else. My husband hates actually watching movies with me at home, because even before we had kids, I'd like get bored. I'm watching it, but like, I'm a multitasker. I'm like constantly fidgeting, doing something else. So I'd either be sitting on my laptop, like working, or like, he's just like, can't you enjoy the movie? Can't you just sit and enjoy it? I'm like, sure. And then I'm like, totally my thumb.
Do this with me. Just please do this with me.
I know, yes. Like, stop everything else. Okay. Yes, I will.
That's how I feel about Jimmy loves, like, some of the shows, like, what are they? Not Criminal Minds, like NCIS, like those kinds of shows, like the cop shows and stuff like that. And at the beginning, I'm like, dude, all of these episodes are the same. I can tell you, like, in the first 5 minutes, I can tell you who's going to do it. Why are we watching this? Right. Like, I'll start working and, like, doing other things, or, like, getting up and, like, cleaning the kitchen and stuff like that. It drives him insane.
Interesting business fact, actually. I'm in the middle of taking Donald Miller's story brand course, which is about how to tell your story and like how to really articulate, like how to make your clients the hero of your story, basically. And he talks about how every script in Hollywood is the same. It follows the same pathway that he's teaching you. He just wants you to apply that same principle to your business. And I was like, and he said, you're never going to look at movies the same way again. And sure enough, like I was like, oh, that's that and that's that. It's just funny how those things can.
It's all the exact same format. It's like when I find a show, or when I find something that like you have to think a little bit more through, you have to pay attention to, or doesn't follow that exact format. I'm like, love it. It's the most amazing thing ever. You guys all have to see it.
I'm in.
It's amazing. He's in Nashville. Donald Miller is.
Yes, I've heard that. Because that's where he hosts his live thing. I'm doing the online version right now, but I'm kind of tempted to go to Nashville, actually. We'll see.
Wow. Come, we'll have wine in person.
There you go. Good things. Good.
Yeah, he does his live one. I think it's once a year. It used to be twice a year. I think now it's done to once a year. It might still be twice a year. I thought I heard them talking about doing it twice a year, or once a year. But,
it was really great. So far, it's really great.
I've heard that the live one and the online stuff is all amazing. I haven't done it yet, but I hear it's all good things about Donald Miller and his branding stuff. Do you listen to his podcast?
I have a few of them. I haven't listened to the whole thing, although I went on a binge the other day and listened to like 4 in a row. So, yeah.
That's how I do it.
Yeah.
Instagram, 1 million people talking about Instagram, that today they launched holiday stickers, and now that you can add like a tag to wherever you're at, like a location tag
Oh,
to
really?
everything, and now you can add candy cane, like the marker that you normally have, now you can add candy cane markers for a limited time. So thoughts on Instagram essentially being Snapchat?
Yeah. I never got into Snapchat. I don't know, maybe I'm too old, but I'm just kidding. I didn't really understand it. I was doing Periscope a little bit at the time, and I just didn't really get it. But so I haven't ever done it, but I like the stories, and I like the things that they're doing on Instagram and how it's all playing out. Although I do hear that it's very much like Snapchat, but unfortunately I can't really speak to it because I never really got on that bandwagon. Are you big into Snapchat?
God, no, I can't stand it.
Right.
I don't like the user experience. I mean, I feel like for being around as long as they have, that your user experience should be way better than me having to type in the exact username I need or the exact phone number of the person I need to be able to connect with them on your platform. Like, that just seems counterintuitive to me to make it easier for people to use. I don't understand why that's a thing. So that's why, like, I was never big into it. And then I don't know if maybe it's like an age thing, but when it first came out, it was very much like the sexting app. Like, you used it because everything disappeared after 24 hours. And you knew if they took a screenshot, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
So and people took a screenshot of it?
You can tell when someone takes a screenshot. It'll send you a message back that says, so-and-so's username took a screenshot. So then you know if they have a picture of your penis.
Right.
Which, like, still doesn't help you because they still have it and you can't get it back.
Well, so there was something in the news a couple months back about a woman. She was in the entertainment industry. I think she was a model or a playgirl or something. I don't know. She was at the gym and she took a picture of a woman in the locker room. That was in my neighborhood. That was at one of our local gyms. And so, but I guess they found her, and I guess she got charged for it. And she's having to do a bunch of stuff. I don't know if it's community service or what. I don't think she got jail time, but they found the woman, the elderly woman that they took a picture of. I think she was like 60 something, and it's just, I don't know. Common sense, and it's not so common sometimes. Like, you want to be like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Why did you decide that was a good idea? Like, this is not a good idea.
I know. But that was like, after I saw that whole thing, I'm like, yeah, Snapchat's just not where I need to spend my time. And not that obviously I'm not taking pictures like that, but it just felt a little.
When everyone started jumping on it for the business bandwagon and Gary V hardcore started to push it, I feel like that's what kind of like maybe spurned some people on whether they'll admit it or not. I did it for maybe a total of like 3 days, and at that point in time it was okay, this is going to continue to grow. Instagram is feeling a little stale. I'm going to drop Instagram because I hate the curated feed. It gives me hives. I hate having to think about it. And then it was like that day that I decided, all right, I'm not doing Instagram anymore. Instagram's like, oh, we launched Instagram Stories, which is essentially Snapchat.
Yeah, I know.
And it was just, damn it.
I know. I know so many people were frustrated when Instagram brought these things on. But I don't know, in my line of business where everyone is so visual, I don't know, I feel like Instagram's where everyone and my audience is hanging out there. And
Instagram has made it easier. I think Instagram did it the right way. It was frustrating for the first maybe like 24 hours. And then it, like, once you realized, oh, their user interface is much easier. You can pause them so you can see the image for a little bit longer. You can go back if you need to, and they just thought through, I feel like, some of the features a little bit better that, I mean, I can't figure out what you still would use Snapchat for in the first place.
Right, I know. The other thing is, I mean, for me personally, my Facebook is where like my personal stuff is. I mean, you're connected, it's like, it's where I mom out, it's where I tell our funny stories, it's where I talk about outrageous things that my family's doing. But then my business is in Instagram, like that's where, and actually, very interesting enough, in 2008, I was on Twitter a lot. That's where I was growing my business, my stationery business. And majority of the speakers at Bootcamp are people I met on Twitter in like 2008,
really?
2009. Yeah. And so I still push that. I mean, it's mostly pushing stuff out to Twitter, but I still get on there and engage with people every now and then too. But for business, I look to mostly Instagram.
You all need to personally connect with Katie just so you can be her friend on Facebook, because the conversations that she posts with her kids are the most amazing conversations ever. They are definitely giving me like pro checks in the pro column of having a kid.
Oh, thank you. They're, they're little and they say the funniest things, and it's just I make a family yearbook actually from our Facebook posts. You can go to mysocialbooks.com and it'll pull. You can pull from a few different social feeds, but since we're on Facebook, that's where I pull. So I have yearbooks since we got married of like, it includes pictures and posts and all these other things. I joke it's still like lazy mom's family yearbook or lazy mom's like scrapbook, but hey, like it captures all these things, so it's fun.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much, Katie, for agreeing to do this, getting to decompress with me at the end of a long day, especially during the holiday season. It's been insane, to say the least.
I know. It's been a pleasure. I really appreciate the chat. It was fun to just wind down the day, and I enjoyed the chat too. I revealed some
spiked drink.
Oh yeah, well that too. But I was gonna say I revealed some things about myself that I don't know I revealed on a personal level on the business front about Fast and Furious and the water ski team, and you really pulled some details out of me there that I wasn't expecting to share. But
oh, people are gonna know all the things now, all the things.
All the big secrets. What can I say? No.
So where can people find more of you, connect with you, engage with you, get to know more about Tradeshow Bootcamp, all the things? Where can they find it?
Sure. Yeah, we're Tradeshow Camp everywhere. There's no boot in our social names. So Tradeshow Camp on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, all the places. And then tradeshowcamp.com is our website. And we have our 10th Papercamp conference coming up in February. And we'll be teaching product makers, mostly in the stationery and gift world, how to sell wholesale and how to do large scale trade shows like New York Now, National Stationery Show. It's not for the people that are looking to do, renegades and things like that. Those craft fairs are direct to consumer. So we're helping train them for the wholesale shows where they're selling to retail stores that are going to sell their stuff. But yeah, so we've got that coming up in February. And if you want more info on that, it's tradeshowcamp.com/papercamp.
Awesome. All right. Thanks again, Katie.
Thanks for having me.
All right, badasses. That's all we've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed my boozy chat with badass Katie Hunt. We talked about everything from water ski teams, which I'm still amazed are a thing. I guess growing up in the Midwest, we don't have that kind of thing. We're a landlocked state in Missouri. Fast and Furious, which one's the best one? How cute Paul Walker is. All the things were discussed on today's episode. If you guys want to check out her paper camp that she has coming up, go to tradeshowcamp.com/papercamp and check it out. Until next time, you guys know the drill. No drinking and driving if you were playing our game. No drinking and doing client work. And bottoms up.